I am Richard Rich Jacobson, 49, and am a very successful inventor, writer, and OTC stock trader. My wife was Susan Sue Williams Jacobson, 46, and was the owner of the most successful real estate company in the West Michigan area. We have 2 living children, Richard, 22, a college grad currently in OCS in the Navy, and Carol, 20, a junior at the University of Michigan studying pre-law with the intention to go to law school. We lost a second son, Jack, to SIDS when he was 6 months old. He would have been 18. We are probably considered rich. I met Sue at a mixer sponsored by the ROTC while I was in college. She was a freshman, 19, and a member of a sorority that was aligned with the ROTC house. I was a senior, just turned 22, and getting ready to start my commitment to the Army. At the time, the military was downsizing, and I was only going to basic training and the specialized training school for my military occupation. I had hoped for flight training, but my eyesight was not good enough when corrected for even helicopter pilot training. I was assigned to the equivalent of IT for that specialty. It made sense because my major was electrical engineering and my minor was computer programming. After my training, I would be assigned to a ready reserve unit. The mixer was during the 3rd week of the fall semester. The intended purpose was to have the ROTC students integrate with the normal campus scene. Sue was there with her sorority as a newly minted member as Hell Week had just ended. There was a local band at the party that played a mixture of jazz, rock, and pop music. I was not then and am not now a great dancer, but my mother taught all of us kids to dance when we were starting high school, so I could make some moves without embarrassment. I asked the young lady to dance, and we ended up dancing several times. She said her name was Susan Williams. She explained that this was her first time away from home. She also said that I was a good dancer and a good conversationalist. As the night wore on, we talked about a lot of different things. She seemed interested in my military duties, and I was interested in her likes and dislikes. I got her phone number at the sorority house, and we dated for the rest of my senior year. She was aware that after graduation I would be gone for about nearly 9 months for active duty training. Because of my commitment and her schooling, we did not make any long-range plans. I kept in touch with Sue through phone calls and letters. About 6 weeks into my basic training, I had a long weekend pass. Sue came down to the base, and we enjoyed the time together. After basic training, I had a 10-day delay en route, shorthand for a free vacation, before having to report for my advanced training. Sue and I spent almost all of my waking time together. We really did not do anything special, just enjoyed each other's company. I asked her to marry me, and she accepted. We planned to wait until after her junior year to marry, but felt we could wait. I gave her a nice but not gaudy engagement ring. I was in AIT for about 4 months when my father died. He had been sick with a failing heart for several years. He had a fatal heart attack. I was on compassionate leave for the funeral and to assist my mother with the estate business when I was involved in a car accident. I was in the hospital for 10 days. The drunk that ran the stop sign died. Because of a severe concussion, a broken ankle, and a whiplash neck injury, I was discharged from the military. They felt that a surgically repaired ankle would not allow me to participate in the physical requirements of military life. As I had spent less than 6 months on active duty, I was not eligible for any military benefits. An ambulance chaser talked me into suing the other driver's estate, and I got a large 7-figure settlement from his insurance and a large property of 30 acres and a big, nearly new house on the city's outskirts. Sue had visited me often while I was in the hospital, and when I got out, helped me with my rehabilitation. The concussion caused some balance problems, and the ankle was in a walking cast for 8 weeks. She helped keep me steady when I was unstable. We talked a lot about our future, and Sue admitted that she was not cut out for college life. She decided to drop out and took some courses at the local community college to study for a real estate license. When she passed her license test, she was hired by a small real estate firm in the city. Once I had healed and my balance problems subsided, I was hired to telecommute by a machine design company in California. Other than the interview, finally product test runs, and the sales conventions, I worked from my house in Grand Rapids. I was allowed to patent all of my designs and improvements. We got married in June and took our honeymoon in Wisconsin at the Dells. We saw all of the natural sandstone formations. On the trip back, we stopped in Traverse City and enjoyed the downtown and the Grand Traverse Bay. That started us on the path that lasted for the next 25 years. Like all marriages, we had a lot of arguments over the years, mostly about the kids or money. I wanted them to be grounded in the idea that earning things they wanted to make them more valuable to them. Sue wanted them to have anything they wanted. We generally compromised. They had to earn the big things, but got the small things just by asking. We also had all of the normal emergencies. Rich hurt himself by riding his bicycle into the street and was bumped by a car. The bones healed, the road rash cleared up, but the small scar through his eyebrow over his left eye gave him a devilish look. Carol was the consummate tomboy until she hit her teens. Then her worst injuries were numerous broken hearts. They were good kids, and we tried to give them the space to learn from their mistakes while trying to keep them safe. We managed to last through the kids, the dramas, and the catastrophes of married and family life. We were approaching the silver anniversary of our marriage. Then came the missed date. After a couple of years, I wound up buying a large part of the business. Sue advanced in the real estate firm to where she finally bought it. The kids were normal kids. I started writing because my kids told me I was a great storyteller, and they started recording and transcribing my stories when they were in high school. When they had a fair amount of stories built up, they contacted a literary agent, and he came and offered to represent me and get me published. The first company he went to offered me a great contract, and the only thing I insisted on that they did not offer up front was that the copyright and secondary rights belonged to me. They agreed, and when they heard some of the kids' recordings, wanted me to read the audiobook versions. The stock trading started when I sold my share of the company and licensed the patents to the new owners. They were a little upset when they discovered that the company did not own the patents. After some serious negotiations and an adjustment of the price, they bought the business. Because I did not have any definite goals, I was bored. So I took a couple of online courses in stock trading and tried my hand at what is commonly called day trading. But I was looking at longer turnaround times and much lower stock purchase prices. That made any losses less costly and wins generally bigger. I traded penny stocks. The OTC market had thousands of small and medium-sized companies that had stock prices of $5 or less per share. I had an average of 20% winners, and that actually made the trading very profitable. About 8 months before our silver anniversary, things had been getting very frosty around our house. Sue became very shrill in her unhappiness. She also stopped all intimacy with me. I did not have any idea what the problem was. When I suggested counseling, the frost became ice. I then suggested to Sue that a long vacation would be nice. I also suggest that we plan something to celebrate our 25th anniversary. I hoped that this might heal whatever was causing the problems. She agreed, and we planned to have a small party for family and friends for our anniversary. Because the anniversary would fall on the Saturday of Easter weekend, we scheduled it for the following week. I decided to get Sue a nice gift to show her how much I loved her. It was a very delicate, fine gold necklace with 5 stones. There were 2 diamonds with the kids' birthstones in between the diamonds. I then got her to agree to a nice lunch date on Saturday of our anniversary. I was headed for our lunch date with the necklace in my pocket. As I was passing an upscale shoe store, I saw her with her mother in the shop. As it was near the restaurant, I went on. I thought she would meet me as planned, so I went and got a table. The date was for 12, and when she hadn't shown up by 12:45, I knew she had forgotten the date. I ordered, ate, and went home. Susan was not there. I started to think of what I might have done to piss her off. The avoid at all costs ploy was one of her normal tactics when she was pissed. When she wasn't back by 5, I began to get angry and worried. I called her mother and asked what time they had ended the shopping spree. She said she had not been shopping and had not seen Sue at all that day. That lie made me angrier. Sue finally arrived home at about 6:30. As she walked through the door, I could see her hair was wet. I angrily said, "I really enjoyed our anniversary lunch, dear. I hope whoever you got your mother to cover for was worth it. It hasn't rained here for several weeks, and here you are with wet hair." Sue turned white and started to say something and then stopped. She reached up and slapped me. Then she started crying. I warned her that she had better not ever try to slap me again, or we were through. I also demanded an explanation as to why she had her mother lie for her. I told her I saw the two of them shopping 20 minutes before our lunch date. I pointed to the kitchen table and said, "I had a wonderful day planned for our 25th anniversary, but you never showed. On the table are the cruise tickets I was going to give you. There in that empty jewelry box was a necklace that had 5 stones on it to commemorate our life together. But if you look, the tickets are now canceled. The box is empty. If you can't keep a date with your husband on our anniversary, you don't deserve any gifts." I continued, "I have already called all of the people who were coming tonight and canceled the party. Your loving son, Rich, wanted to know why. When I told him, he said, and I quote, 'What has the stupid bitch done now?' When I explained to your daughter, she said, 'Well, the stupid woman finally screwed the pooch. Daddy, I will always be here for you, her not so much after this.'" She recoiled from those statements. Then she just reached back like she was going to hit me again, and then stopped. She screamed, "That's right, you're such a wimp. You wouldn't hit a woman. You're too much of a gentleman. Well, for your information, asshole, sometimes I like it a little rough. Marty, your best friend, fills that need for me. Oh, and just so you know, he is getting a divorce, so I think I will too." With that, she stormed out of the kitchen and into the bedroom and locked the door. I had already removed all of my clothes from it and put them in the guest room. I was disgusted and hurt, but thought that it seemed to just be par for the way things had been going. I went and knocked on the bedroom door and heard something hit the other side. Then Sue screamed, "Go away! My lawyer will have the papers ready Monday." I just reached for my little paperclip key and unlocked the door. I opened it and looked in at Sue crying on the bed. I angrily said, "Happy anniversary, you just dumped the last 25 years of your life down the drain because you want to get slapped around. You have to be the dumbest woman in town. Marty's 2 ex-wives have restraining orders against him for putting each of them in the hospital. His current wife is the daughter of a policeman who has told him if he ever hurt her, he would be in jail for a long time. Do you really think that you were the first one he slapped around?" With that, I left the room and closed the door. Sue went ahead with the divorce, asking for nothing but her personal savings account. She and Marty, my ex-friend, got married the day after it was final. A year later, Marty killed her when he beat her so badly he broke a rib and a splinter punctured her heart. Marty got 15 years for second-degree murder, and I visit Sue's grave every year on what would have been our anniversary. I put a bouquet of flowers there and talk to her. I don't know if she listens, but it helps me. She was a significant part of my life and gave me 2 wonderful children. In the end, she hurt me, but I loved her. Life has a way of teaching us lessons we never anticipated. In the aftermath of Sue's tragic end, I found myself reflecting on the 25 years we spent together, years that were a blend of love, challenges, and the shared goal of raising a family. Despite the betrayal, the lies, and the heartbreak that tore us apart, I cannot erase the good moments or the life we built together. Sue's choices led her down a dark path, but I choose to remember her as the woman I fell in love with before things went wrong. In the years following her death, I've learned to find peace in forgiveness, not just for her, but for myself. It would be easy to live in bitterness, but what good does that do for me or our children? Richard and Carol have grown into remarkable adults, and I'm proud of the part I played in that, even if Sue wasn't there to see it through. They are the enduring legacy of a marriage that, while ultimately broken, produced something beautiful. Each year as I visit her grave, I'm reminded that love and pain are intertwined, and sometimes we have to face the ugliest sides of both. I still carry the lessons of our life together, and perhaps in some way, Sue's story serves as a reminder that we are all capable of losing ourselves if we aren't careful. As for me, I continue to grow, embracing the life I have now, richer for the experiences and stronger for having endured. The grief and sorrow have faded, leaving behind a quiet acceptance of what was, what could have been, and what will never be. Life moves forward, and I've learned to move with it. For all her flaws, Sue was my wife, and a part of me will always love her. In this, I find peace. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.